Weekly, Euthanize in News.
Hello, you're watching Youth Weekly on UTV Africa, where we bring you news which made the headlines in the language and perspective of young people. I'm Tega Orubo.
And I am Helda Apollos. You're welcome to the program. Here's a rundown of some of the issues that made headlines in the news last week. Ex-militants give federal government ultimatum on unpaid allowances.
We will not devalue Naira despite pressure, CBN.
Aliyu, Aturu, others seek end to ASU strike.
Suntai surrenders to deputy at last.
Federal government can solve power problem alone. Jonathan.
Access Bank shifts focus to SME sector.
Another stowaway nabbed at Benin Airport.
And on the foreign scene, Egypt shuts down 4 stations.
New constitution creates high excitement among Tanzanians. Isaac Danford.
In sports, Bale must end place, says Real Madrid coach. These were some of the issues which made the headlines in the course of last week. Join us in a moment for more on this.
Youth Weekly, Euthanize in News.
We are part of the solution.
We bring you youth perspective on issues. Youths have a voice.
We have a story to tell.
Youth Weekly, Euthanize in News.
Welcome back. You're still on to Youth Weekly on UTV Africa. This is our discussion segment. So Helda, about the stowaway boy, I feel like a prophet right now.
Tega, you are actually a prophet of doom. You alluded to the fact that such a tendency exists for Nigerians to take advantage of this. And somebody did.
It happened again.
It happened.
I was telling you last week that people would do this thing. You said it's not possible.
Well,
it's
I
not
was
going
trying
to
to give them
happen.
the
Nobody will
benefit
be
of the
foolish
doubt.
enough.
You
Now
know?
they have been foolish enough. I'm sure the person went home and told his brother, "Oh, sir, I've got to scholarship. Oh yeah, go
cut me
ahead,
some
sir."
slack. I was just giving Nigerians the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
I thought we could think better and do better. Let us not look at these incidents as a ground to actually take advantage of the system. I'm sure the Giraffes group that gave the young man a scholarship did it in good faith to curb any criminal tendency he might have had in the future.
I want to add that fine, they did it in good faith, but I don't think they were wise about it. They should have attached a condition to it so that subsequently people will know it's wrong.
Well, I'm hoping that a greater deterrent will be placed
It should
in
be
the case
flogged.
of Leroy Ogaga.
It should be flogged.
A 25-year-old man this time around.
Give us 10 days and we might have a stowaway grandfather.
Well,
but thank God for
not.
security now, it's tighter.
Tega, you are prophesying again.
I'm prophesying
and it's just unfortunate. But kudos also to fund security operatives that were able to nip the guy before anything could have happened. So I think it's a good development. A lot of drama is happening and PDP is all over the news. A lot of is unfolding. The governor's forum is, just crumbling down like a house of cards. And then also they sent a delegation on a fact-finding mission to Taraba State.
Probably to make it look like PDP stable.
Drama is still unfolding.
It's even worse.
So there are divergent views coming out from the objectives of that meeting. And Joseph Kunini,
Majority Leader of the State House of Assembly, he's saying that what Senator Hope Uzodinma announced after the meeting was not the actual agreement. That it was agreed there should be like a ceremonial head and an executive head, like
a hierarchy of some.
If the acting governor wants to make major decisions, he will go to Suntai to get advice or discuss it with him.
How is that supposed to work based on the constitution that we have? Actually there's a court injunction saying everything should be left to the constitution, and I think that is how it should be done. I don't know how that is going to work, especially where a divergent opinion is involved. There will be factions and people will polarize to different segments, and that's a recipe for disaster.
I don't get what the senator is doing. Like, in the same breath, he says that Governor Suntai is hale and hearty, strong, and he's still saying that the acting governor should continue until the governor recovers from what? From being hale and hearty.
So I don't know. We just hope that our constitution will be actually used to resolve this issue, and the chain of command in Taraba State will be clearly distinct. What other news in the headlines appeal to you?
The ex-militants. The issue of the ex-militants coming to the government, they're giving them an ultimatum. Like after a month, if they are not given their unpaid allowances, they will go back and fight the government. It's very unpatriotic.
Oh, well, I feel even though they have the right to do that, I think also the government needs to answer to certain things.
How do they have a right? The government is helping them out. It's stopping them from going into the streets and helping them with training. They give them training programs and then they give them allowances and all. So, what are you...
I think we need to actually be careful how we take our sense of entitlement. Because, of course, the government actually has her lapses. You know, the government has been inconsistent in coming through with their commitment as far as the amnesty program is concerned. So they are complaining that some of the allowances are paid and then sometimes not paid, and then the leaders are also kept out of deliberations. They are not being told what to expect. And when there's a breakdown in communication like that, of course, what suffers is the trust that exists in that system. And of course, people that were brought up in the creeks, you know, they had this tendency before. You are trying to integrate them into society. You should be able to tell them that they can trust the system. If not, the expectant result is that they will go back to doing things like they used to, and
so
that's resorting to violence.
They are right to threaten the government because the government should meet their commitment.
Not
if
necessarily.
They make promises,
I am saying the government needs to step up in trying to create an enabling environment that people can trust. Yes. To be able to say that when we say we will do something, we will come through with it. If not, we will communicate. Let's come to the table and talk. This is why we cannot come through at this time. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I understand. I think this issue of trust, it comes in where Jonathan said in the economic summit, Nigerian economic summit, that federal government cannot handle power problems alone. I think if the issue of trust is beaten down, if there's trust, people can be able to invest in the government. But why would a private citizen or a private company want to invest in a government that they cannot trust to meet up with their own end?
That's actually a big question, Tega. Government actually needs to step up. You know, he was saying that he would want to see more private sector involvement in, you know, leapfrogging the advancement in the power sector. But like you said, trust is actually the dicey issue at stake in this matter. And where there is an enabling environment, of course, the private sector participation will be amply seen. But you cannot involve yourself in a business with a system where the other party doesn't come through, and then you don't know where to go to get justice at the end of the day.
Because you're fighting against the big government.
Yeah, they have the biggest.
And I want to add that apart from an enabling environment, I think if the government is talking about other people getting involved, then at least let the federal government start up something. Let's see how committed they are. If you've done 40% and you say you cannot do all of the work, then we get it, fine. People can see that you're committed, you're starting something, so they can add their own percentage. So but if you're standing at 1% or 2% and you're saying you can't do all the work, what work have you done in the first place?
Okay, I hope that the government will actually step up their game in the power sector. We need power to be consistent in Nigeria, you know. Yes, there's this issue of SME too. Access Bank is shifting focus and giving it to developing SME, and I think that's a very welcome development.
That's beautiful.
You know, I celebrate any initiative that seeks to empower young people. Young people are actually the future of this nation. So if you have the state of unemployment in the country is a thing of concern. And I feel that SME developing entrepreneurial skills is actually one of the key issues that will bring us to limelight. Empowering young people to be able to take initiatives and, you know, implement their ideas.
Yes, because if they are given credit facilities, it's not just to have ideas, but to put it into use. Because if you have ideas and there's no financial backing, then nothing.
I celebrate any initiative that seeks to empower young people. And I think Access Bank are actually right on track by focusing on developing SME, which I believe is actually what will help in bridging the gap between the have and the have-nots in this country.
And solve unemployment.
You know? Yes. And on that note, UTV Africa crew were at an event over the week convened by Core Development Initiative, an event that sought to empower young people and help them discover their strengths and use that as a point or a pivot to gain meaningful employment. I'm sure you're going to find this an interesting watch, and I'm sure you're going to learn something about yourself that will help you to position yourself for better employment. Enjoy this session. We'll be right back.
Give me the mosquito club. Kaja, killer. Now, in the law of personality we say, from the time you wake up till the time you go to bed, everything you do is drawn primarily from who you are. And that's why you always hear people say that everything that you want to do in life stems from self-awareness. Unless you know who you are, you cannot really be on top of your game.
He said the ability to find that strength is what will sustain you. That's what he's saying. And that's what I'm saying today. Now, this is it. Someone who is conscientious cannot walk like in a sales role, for example. It's not their strength, right? They will not do well in that. They will literally struggle.
Live a balanced life. Be positive, be calm, be happy. It just does not pay you to wear a long face and wear all the troubles of Nigeria on your head by yourself. So can you read if you can see the screen?
Build relationships. Your reputation next, and your referrals.
So the emphasis is on relationships. The right relationships, that's networking. Because once you have the right relationships, your reputation is next. Reputation is you now working on yourself to match the expectations of these relationships you have established.
I'm going to be very effective in my place of work. I'm going to relate better with my colleagues and my boss, and most importantly with the people I'm trying to get information from, because that's the work I do. Now I know my personality and I know my strengths, so I'm going to build on it.
My name is Nonso. I'm at Core Youth Empowerment Seminar, and it has been very helpful and has added a lot to my life.
One of the things I gained from this program is that as an employer, I saw the need for me to actually get to know the kind of people I'm going to be employing to my firm. Like right now, I discovered from this program that I don't even have an influencer. You get, so I don't know who should help me market my product and everything I've been producing.
I've learned a lot, most especially today. I learned that I'm an influential type of person. I learned that I have all the takes for me to take over the world. I think I'll just summon it that way. I have all it takes to be me. All I have to do is look inward and then bring out what I have inside.
That was an insightful session, and kudos to Core Development Initiative for putting up such a project that enables young people discover their strengths and use that as a pivot to gaining meaningful employment. Ted, as Socrates said, man, know thyself.
I think it's a good one that youths have been taught how to tap into their personal capacity. On that note, we've come to the end of Youth Weekly on UTV Africa for this week. You can join our Facebook conversations on facebook.com/UTV Africa and follow us on Twitter at UTV Africa.
Yes, we would like to know what you think about these issues that we've discussed. So go to our Facebook page, like our Facebook page. Also invite someone to watch this edition and other editions of Youth Weekly, and you will be sure glad that you did. Join us again as we bring you more exciting editions of Youth Weekly next week. Bye-bye.